How do you conduct a 60 to 90 minute presentation that your true motive and intention is to help people and to generate growth in your business? Directly selling, an appeal where you ask people to pay. Indirectly selling, where you're on someone else's stage or on your own and you don't want to directly ask for the sale. You want to present the opportunity for people to then come to you. Your words is the outline for people so they can follow. Tonight's presentation, we're going to have about 4 versus battles that I want to walk y'all through. If you're over teaching, you are making them smarter, you're not making them better. Most people are addicted to education, allergic to execution, because in all of us, there are 3 personality types: an educator, an executor, and an examiner. That's the concept. My promise for tonight is to teach you how to speak to sale. How do you conduct a 60 to 90 minute presentation that your true motive and intention is to help people and to generate growth in your business? So we won't go too heavy into just a sales presentation, because some of you will be directly selling. So watch this, how to speak to sale. So this is directly selling and indirectly selling. Directly selling, an appeal where you ask people to pay. Indirectly selling, where you're on someone else's stage or on your own and you don't want to directly ask for the sale. You want to present the opportunity for people to then come to you. This is a reverse sale, Lionel. A reverse sale is where you present the information and the person gets to make the choice whether they move forward. A direct sale is where, would you like to move forward right now? You ask them the question. The person says, yes, great, let's get you enrolled. Where you're actually presenting the offer, pitching the offer, closing the sale, overcoming the objection. I'm going to say it slow. Presenting the offer. What do I get? Closing the sale. This is where you get confirmation and collect payment. Overcoming the objections, the reasons people tell themselves or why they won't say yes to something they want, and then confirming the decision. So we see a distinction then that this style presentation, remember we talking about speaking to grow our brand, speaking to grow our business, speaking to grow our bank account. You're going to then have to learn the skill of actually not being coy, not being shy, but leaning into it and doing an actual sales presentation. Who plans on doing webinars, master classes, any type of sales presentation? Everybody should be saying me. If you didn't say me, let me know so I can reach over there right now. Put your hand out. Right? Every one of you. These are going to be done, watch this, 1-to-1 or 1-to-many. Now, when y'all hear me say 1-to-many, it doesn't have to be hundreds of people. Some of the strategies I'm going to show you all how to do, which I cannot wait. You'll see how I'll show you how to do these micro sales calls, how to create your own stages. I'll tell you all the steps of how to do it. If you're doing 1-to-1, I'll show you how to do something that we call previews, where a person gets to preview what it is you do and you close those. Win back processes for those who did business with you before and hasn't done it with you since. So you don't just need new people. You can also do these same things for those who had a good experience, but just didn't know, oh, this is what you offer now. If I'm Nikki, she's got enough goodwill and book of business people who know her. That's not a matter of cold traffic. What is the presentation those who already know you, know they want to work with you, to then give them the opportunity to buy? Does that make sense for everyone? Now that's my promise. Woo, how we gonna get through all this? Jesus, be a Lamborghini in Corso mode. Like, put it in there. Like, let's ride out. Can you all notice tonight that I am using my skill of speaking versus skill of training or presenting, but I'm also doing something very specific. I keep pausing in between it, showing you what I'm doing. So I'm going to keep doing that tonight. I'm going to do the thing, pause, and then explain to you the thing so you'll realize it's a skill that you can use whenever you want. Okay? Let's go to speaker mode. During the pandemic, there was something that popped off that changed the game for every last one of us. We was in the house looking a mess, no haircut. Some of you had your hair done, nails done, everything, babe. But some of us was looking a mess. You was asking yourself questions you ain't asked since a kid. Well, since I ain't leaving the house, do I got to take a shower? You're like, I mean, it's Wednesday, but I ain't went nowhere. It's COVID. Everybody in the house. Okay, it was just me asking that. Judge your mama. Judge somebody else. Don't judge me. I'm like, what I need to shower for to go from the living room to the couch? Okay. Hand me that rag. Squash. Okay. Woo! But there's a show that popped off that changed the game because we finally felt like we was around people again. This show that popped off was called Versus. because the whole world was in the comments and we felt like we wasn't alone no more, listening to some of our favorite songs, watching some of our favorite artists, and in there like a watch party with our friends in a group text. And we voting. Now, there was never a clear winner because that's not the point of verses. They never tell you who won. They let people make up in their mind who the winner is. Let me tell you, have they ever announced a winner for a versus battle? No. People still arguing, did Jeezy win or Gucci won? And I just want to say, for anybody who believes that Gucci won, I got to say to you what Mr. Clark said on that rooftop to that boy on Lean On Me. You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy. Don't you smoke crack. Gucci ain't win that battle. Jeezy did. But my point in all of this is there is no clear announced winner. We all get to make a decision of who won. It's a versus battle. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, when you are speaking to sell, your presentation is a versus. It is you versus them. Write it down, write it down. Did everybody see what I just did in my introduction? I got a premise, I got a concept, I told a story, it was humorous, it was emotional, and I landed in the principle. So now we're connecting the story to the principle, and now you know where I'm going next. You know my outline. When you are giving this speak to sell presentation, it is you versus them. Notice how now you have your first note. Your words is the outline for people so they can follow. Are y'all seeing this in action? Are you seeing you can't guess your way into this? Now, guess what else I got underneath this, Mac? Guess what principle I didn't unravel? I introduced the first principle is you versus them. But underneath that, guess what else I slowed down in my tone and said? There's never a clear winner. You get to decide in your mind who the winner is, just like you get to grade and score your tests, your speech. Now you got to decide, do you score it by hand claps? Do you score it by how many people follow you? Do you score it by the tiers, or do you score it by, let me check my Stripe account. Let me check my calendar. Who on my calendar? Nobody. Oh no, that speech wasn't that good. 100 tiers, no money? Because every time I speak my business, see my point. Now we got two different premises, two different principles that I can float between, all from the one story. Now, guess what you're seeing in real time, Jaretta? You're seeing the skill of speaking, the strategy of storytelling, subconscious selling, and then you can learn selling. When they all tie together, you speak to sell. That's why those are the 4 pillars of becoming an entrepreneur speaker. You need all 4. Okay, so what's your first versus? Tonight's presentation, we're going to have about 4 versus battles that I want to walk y'all through. Can I tell y'all who battling first? Who in here? Can I announce the first versus battle? See the presentation style? It keeps the crowd involved. It's conversational. Does everybody see what we're doing? So I'm telling you how I'm doing it, and I'm doing it. And even though you know what I'm doing, isn't it a good presentation? It emotionally keeps you involved and holds your attention the whole time. Now, how many versus battles did I just tell you we're going to have tonight? Now the audience is taking notes. Now, guess what happens, Jazz, if I only give you 2? The audience says, where's the other 2? Which means they want me to keep speaking instead of me begging for their attention. That's what you need to speak. In order for you to speak, they have to give you their attention. But how do you get them to keep giving you their attention? By your skill of creating a hook. I call it anticipation hook. You float something that they can anticipate. Write that down, y'all. Write that down. An anticipation hook. It could be negative. It could be positive. It could be neutral. Negative anticipation hook. The biggest 3 mistakes you can make in your business. Negative. Here are the 3 things you should do in your business if you want it to grow. Positive. Here are 3 things you probably don't know that could be hurting your business and keeping you from growing. Neutral. All 3 are anticipation hooks. I got you. Negative, where you pick a negative side of things. So you can show somebody, for instance, Nick, something that they want, and there is a habit, a belief, or a lack of information, and the list goes on and on that's keeping them from getting it. Positive, where you promise the result they want. So now your speech is the solution to that, or you pose the questions they have, and your speech answers the questions. Make sense? Neutral is where you balance in between it. There's some sense of ambiguity that could be, here is the exact thing you need to do if you don't want to X, but do want to Y. That's neutral. It's not saying that they are doing it. It's not saying they are doing it. You're compiling a list for them to make that decision. Now, we still got 4 versus battles, and it's 7:35 already. I'm running out of time, y'all. I'm running out of time. Versus battle number 1. We ready for number 1? Say yeah. Hit me with the Steve Harvey. If you're ready for number 1, say yeah. All right. Number 1, your motive versus their motive. Everybody wrote it down? We're ready to go? What's the first versus battle? Your motive versus their motive. Now watch this. Your motive is to help them and help yourself. Don't even lie about it. The reason most of you are afraid to sell because you are uncomfortable expressing your core motive. You do know you just said every time you speak, your business grow. So is it your motive for business growth? Yes. Unapologetically stand in that bad boy. Don't feel bad about it. Because if your business don't grow, how could it be in place to help the people that you created the business for? Y'all, if I never sold anything, many of you who said, Marcus, thank you for this week. Thank you for the night. This has changed my life. Guess what? I'd still be at Florida State setting up rooms and sitting in the back of the room watching boring speakers if my business didn't grow. So if my motive was not clearly expressed and I didn't actually implement that motive to build my business, look at how many people it would have hurt. You growing your business helps. Okay, so your motive to help them, which is your motive, and to help yourself. This is still in the verses, right? Your message to get them from where they are to and through wherever they're stuck. When you think about your message, to get them from wherever they are and get them to or through. So if I'm saying, here is where your life is now, whatever industry you're in, if they got a brow business, if they got a beauty business, where are they at now? Mentally, educationally, financially. Your first message is always to help them locate where they are, because most people are arrogant and they don't know, and then get them to the thing you promised and get them through the thing that stood in the way. That's your first verses. It's your motive and your message. Everybody got it? Your motive and your message versus their motive and their message. We got ourselves something now. Now, Marcus, you just told me that about my motive and my message, but what's their motive? Y'all want to know their motive? The people that's going to pay you, you want to know their motive? Their results and their wants. It's the thing they want and the result they want. Emotional wants, financial wants. I want to lose weight. I want to grow fast. I want to build a network. I want to grow my business. I want to learn how to speak. That's your want. But once you learn how to speak, you want the result that comes from it. So they have a want and they want a result. I want to learn how to speak. Why? To use speaking for the result that I want. I want to make more money. Why do you want more money? So I can purchase my home, so I can take care of my family, so I can quit my job. Everybody see that? So they don't just have a want, they have a want and they want a result from that. How am I doing on teaching? How am I doing so far? Can everybody see you're never lost in the presentation? Because that's what good speaking is. If I ask right now, where am I at again? I know we said, how many versus battles we doing? Communication loop. The room says 4. And which one are we on right now? Number 1. And what's the first versus battle? Your motive versus their motive. See how everybody's on the same page. How you get an entire room that all know exactly what you're doing, because that's what you do when you speak. Your motive versus their motive. Now watch this, y'all. We just talked about your motive, your message. We talked about their motive. Now we got to deal with their message. Their message is internally what they are thinking, feeling, and believing before they heard your message. What they are thinking, feeling, and believing before they heard your message. Can you see why I call it a versus battle? Because you've got your motive to help them, your message to get them from where they are to where they're trying to go and through it. But guess what they want? Their motive is what they want in the result, and their message is what they're already thinking. Now it's a battle, you versus them. Now watch this. Until they met you, Shatoya, all they had was their message. All they had was their motive. Guess what it was? Their mental and emotional greatest hits against yours. We got ourselves a versus paradox. We got ourselves a just position. Because all they listened to was, you can't do it. You got to wait until this. Nah, you're not quite ready yet. Well, nah, you should do. Nah, you can't trust people. They got all their own greatest hits playing in their head. But guess what? Their motive is still there for what they want and their results. But guess what? If their greatest hits could get them what they want and get them their results, they would have had it already. So what do they really need? Your message and your motive helps them with their message and their motive, and they don't even know it. That's why you got to speak. That's why you got to speak to sell, because you got to win the battle of their greatest hits, telling them all the reasons they can't or all the ways they can do it without you, but they really can't. Let's pause for station identification. This is a commercial break brought to you by Marcus's brain. I just want to make sure that you guys are following along. Are you guys understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? Yes. Are you with me? In the words of Kirk Franklin, are you with me? All right. Everybody got the first premise. This versus is so powerful. Watch this. No matter what you're speaking about, they're hearing your message at the same time they're hearing theirs. Good God Almighty. How many of y'all this week been hearing you and hearing me at the same time? That thing created such an emotional discomfort because you're like, oh, I want it, but can I? I get it, but that's different because it's Marcus and he been doing it longer. That's a message in your head telling you that the only reason that I'm good at what I do because I've been doing it long, not because of the skill that I can show you. And that first part, family, let me ask you the question. If you don't win that first battle of inspiring a person to abandon or to turn the music off in their head that stops them from hearing your message and you helping them with your motive, you can't help them. You got to try to the best of your ability to help shift their motive, their message. Now watch this, 𝗲𝗏. What I didn't mention, you notice how in their motive, no part of that mentions them wanting to pay you? Why wouldn't their motive be that? Because everybody wants you to help them for free so they can charge people for the help you gave them. That's not fair to you. The people who say, I can't believe you're charging for that, want you to help so they can charge someone else. Stop gatekeeping. I'm just asking you a simple question. Well, pop quiz back to you. Then this is what you're going to say to him, Dr. Jenny. Okay, I understand that you're asking me what you consider to be a simple question. Do you mind if I ask you a question really quick? Is the question that I'm going to answer for you available in any of my content on social media for free? Probably. So I watched it, but I don't understand it. So you need my help helping you learn how to utilize what I spent my time and skill giving away for free. Question number two. Question number two is the answer to the question you're asking me. Is my answer going to be something you use that helps you get a result or something that you want? Yeah. So you should pay me for that. Are y'all getting this? That's the only way you win the versus battle. Cousins, here go my moment for you. There are a lot of people in this world that want to take advantage of you. Don't help them. There are a lot of people that want to take advantage of you. Don't help them. You don't need 4 follow-up calls for your indecision. Hey, I think I'm about ready. I just got a few more questions. I'm straight. I'm good. You don't need 4 follow-up calls. You knew when you booked the first one that you want. Come on. They knew when they booked the first one, Arthur, they needed your help. They knew when they booked the first one, Rebecca, they needed your help. Are y'all with me? All right. That was versus battle number 1. We ready for versus battle number 2? Versus battle number 2. Your speaking motive versus your motive for selling. So your motive for speaking versus your motive for selling. Now here's the deal. I'll say this very clear and succinct. You see yourself speaking full time. That's your future life. They see themselves in the future with the result your business provides. That's their future life. I'm going to say it again. You see yourself speaking full time. That's your future life. They see themselves learning the information, getting access to the thing that you provide. That's their future life. Now, if your speaking motive, and let me go deeper with this, we're talking about them versus you, and we're talking about you internally. Here's what I want to resolve for some of you who have tension between selling and serving. If you see yourself speaking full time, that's your future life. Your motive can't just be speaking and impacting people. It must also be selling, or you can't do it full time. You can't have a motive to do business full time without having a motive to sell. Are y'all following? Now, that's not being salesy. That's being smart. That's being smart. Because if I don't make money, I can't stay in business. If I'm not in business, people who need me can't get the help that they need. The more I make in terms of money, the more I can focus on my clients, my customers, and my skill and not on money. This is why you have to sell. Any of you listen to me and each day you can hear how clear I am in my head. You can hear how clear the message is. You don't realize how much time that takes from me. Could I work 2 full-time jobs and do this part-time and be this clear? No. The greatest thing I can do for my clients is make more money because I don't have to think about me. I can spend more time thinking about them. This is why your motive has to be to speak and to sell, because speaking requires time, process, organizing the information, being creative and innovative, because it's not just the information. Can you all see that I package the information into a style that you can regurgitate, into a premise of a versus battle? So I'm sitting there trying to think of, okay, how do I want to approach this tonight? I'm talking about what I'm thinking through it. Oh, got it. That requires time. It requires sacrifice. Now watch this really quick. If they want their future life and you want your future life, if they want, man, I would love to hear your message. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear how you overcame. I would love to hear how you built your business. I would love to hear how I can implement systems. I would love to hear how you can repair my credit. I would love to hear how to find my purpose. That's your message. You want to share that because you see your future life as a speaker. Now watch this. If they don't pay you, they can't have their future life and you can't have yours. Now watch this. Here's how this, them paying you helps them get what they want and you get what you want. You want to help them, but you can't help them if you don't have the resources to do it. So it helps both people get what they want. If you don't sell, you can't stay in business. If they don't buy, they can't benefit from what your business offers. If you don't sell, you can't stay in business. If they don't buy, they can't benefit from what your business provides. Let's get to my third versus battle. Over teaching versus underselling. All right. Now I want to pause really quick and I want to ask you all this specific question. Can you all see the difference between this presentation style that I'm explaining to you all and what you're used to hearing at conferences? Notice there's never any premise that keeps you engaged the whole time. You don't know where they're going. It's all over the place. Can everybody see how the whole time, how many of y'all have a level of, here's the emotion you need, anticipation, because in your mind, like, what's number 3? Unpack number 3. What's number 4? Unpack number 4. That emotion is what's needed. Can y'all see the difference? That's an entrepreneur speaker there. This the kind of stuff that arrogant people say, oh, we do the same thing. No, we don't. No, we do not. This ain't arrogance, family. They play college ball. I play in the NBA. We both play basketball, but not against the same talent, not in the same league. Playtime over is big league. Playtime over is big league. Playtime over is big league. This different. This different. Why? Because I'm an entrepreneur speaker. I don't wing it. I don't jump from thought to thought saying random statements with no system underneath it to teach you. When you don't pay attention. And then I don't teach you how to pay or pay attention. So why you tell me a random quote on shuffle with no system to teach me? Every one of you just got to take action. See, sometimes some of us are addicted to education, alert to execution. That's my quote they're using. And I hear my quote out of people's mouth and they have no clue it's mine. It's in this book right here. This book sitting on my desk that I wrote back in 2015. So they don't even realize while using a quote that is mine, that's been regurgitated through the space that they got from my good brother, Nehemiah Davis, who's coached more of these entrepreneurs, who uses my quote that now they think is theirs. Success loves speed, that's Neo's. Speed of execution, that's Marcus's. Put a clock on your thought. How long does it take for you to learn it? How fast before you take action to it? Most people are addicted to education, allergic to execution, because in all of us, there are 3 personality types: an educator, an executor, and an examiner. That's the concept. But if you tell me a quote and you got no substance underneath it to help me with it, then you don't have a proper motive and you don't have a proper message. Your motive is to sell me, not to help me. So now that's why you lose the versus battle. If your motive is to help me, you don't just tell me, you show me. I don't want to give away too much. You don't know enough. So now you got to go work for free and earn the right to be paid. If you can't do what I did for these last 5 days and give it all away and still got more to give, you got to go work for free for people who ain't paid you yet. Read an entire book to answer one question. Go on a vacation and meditate for 8 hours just so you can get clear to answer one question. I sat in silence today for over 90 minutes. No TV, no nothing. With this one thing playing that if I press the button, it'll play right now, called Altars. Can y'all hear this? 90 minutes. Getting clear. Because if my motive is to help you, I can't be distracted. Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Did I have stuff I needed to do? Yes. Do I have other businesses that's suffering from me serving for free? Yes. Do I have other things I need to take care of? Yes. Did I feel like laying down? Yes. Did I feel like doing other stuff? Yes. Do I need to call my mama back? Yes. Is my niece, who I love, Uncle Baby, Donna Lee's, is she going away for college and in Tallahassee they want me to be there this weekend so they're going to have a party for her? Yes, but I can't trust the internet. I need to be in my environment. So am I saying no to somebody I love, my niece who's going away to college? Yes, because when your motive is to help, good God Almighty. I hope you are enjoying this. I'm telling you, this is only a few minutes out of 2 8-hour days. Think about 16 hours of training. And what's amazing about what we do, there is no place that I found that teaches business owners and entrepreneurs how to speak in a way that grows their brand, their business, and their bank account. Now, there are a ton of speaker programs, but very few that are for business owners, because business owners aren't speaking for hand claps and applause. We're speaking with the hopes of growing our business. So if I said, hey, I want to invite you on a podcast, you want to come on the podcast in hopes of getting more followers, more brand visibility, more business. Well, I want to invite you to get access to Entrepreneur Speaker. It is the only speaker training specifically for business owners who want to grow their brand, business, and bank account. You get access to learning how to speak without notes, how to organize in your head, how to present from stage. You learn storytelling, how to master telling your story in a way that sells for you. You learn my subtle selling system, and you also learn how to sell via masterclass, webinar, or challenge. So in the description below, you will get access to that. I cannot wait to see you at the next Entrepreneur Speaker. Let's get back to the episode. Now pause for station identification. Notice how desire to hear the message hasn't left. If you're going to speak to sell, you can't exhaust the desire in the room, which puts me to number three. Number three, the battle of number three, over teaching versus underselling. If your assumption is just teaching a whole lot of information will make people buy, you have robbed them and removed the desire. Trav, if I overfeed you appetizers, you have now lost your appetite for the entree. This is why overteaching doesn't help the person. Guess what you're doing? If you're overteaching, you are making them smarter. You're not making them better. Guess what you're doing when you overteach? When you're overteaching, you are giving them a false sense of security because they believe that all they need is the little you taught. Because even when you're overteaching, you know it's not everything, and they'll need more in order for them to be able to implement it, to execute it. They'll have questions. But guess what? When you're a great communicator, when you overteach, they oversimplify the degree of difficulty and think they can do it without you. You're actually hurting them by overteaching. You're not helping. So all you got to do, if you want to remove a few things off your credit, you're going to this. All you got to do is, it's so simple, y'all. You're just going to do these 4 steps. And they think that's all they got to do. But guess what happens? When they do the thing and they realize it didn't work and it's more nuanced than that, and they need you to look at it and say, oh yeah, change this on the letter. Well, they don't have access to you if you didn't sell it. Now, guess what they think about you? Their information don't work. It's not the information they needed. It was you. Now, there is a ratio, what I call a teach to sell ratio. It is not teach nothing. It goes back to what I taught y'all on day 3, speaking to grow your business. In speaking to grow your business, I explained to you all these elements that goes into speaking. Go back to it if you need to. I can't go into it now. I also explained to you the 3 decisions, and this could be a part of your presentation that a person is making. Why you? This is the information you share about your business and your brand, how you came up with the idea, the way that you approach business. So why you? Why that or why this? This is where you explain the details of the vehicle or the thing that you're selling to them. So why this platform versus that platform? Why this program versus that program? Why speaking versus marketing? Why ClickFunnels versus Go High Level? Why that versus that? Then why now? If you comprehensively did that, you realize that the larger percentage is on why you and why that, and then the smaller percentage is on why now. That's the sale. Now, the average person, all they talk about is that and this, and they never, or either they talk about just why me. What's up, y'all? You know what I'm saying? 7-figure entrepreneur, you know what I'm saying? Been out here for about 15 years. You know, I'm finna get a game. You know, I got so many friends just turning up, making a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? Who in here trying to make a whole lot of money? Too much why me. Way too much why me. The greatest mistake that I see people make in speaking is starting ladies and gentlemen, oh God, I ain't got time. Starting with a bio. Hey guys, so before we get started, a little about me. The moment I see that slide come up, if we at an event together, hey, you hungry? You trying to roll? I'm finna head out, my boy. I know where this is going. Why the first slide and the first thing out your mouth is a presentation? So a little about me, guys, before we get started. And when I see it's word for word on them slides, the slides say a little about me before we get started. Okay, guys, a little about me before we get started. Move to next slide. Okay, moving to next slide. Let's move. Overthinking versus underselling. It robs the person of the opportunity and it oversimplifies what they need. All right, let's move to this last versus battle. Speaking mistakes versus sales mistakes. Here's how this works. 5 sales mistakes.